It's hard to find a modern movie that doesn't flaunt its CGI in your face. While that's not necessarily a bad thing, audiences come to assume that the medium is used strictly for monsters, explosions, and superpowers. And while that might be true to an extent, there are a lot more instances of subtle manipulation than you might realize. A little softening here, a little lens flare there, and suddenly the whole movie is completely different. Before we jump into the entries, we wanted to say thanks for watching and invite you to subscribe to our channel to see more of our stuff. You can even join the notification squad for updates on when we release new content just for you. And hey, can you guess the movie based on these emojis? Stay tuned for the answer and play along with our trivia questions as we go through the entries.
Are you ready?
Here are 10 CGI movie moments that completely fooled you.
On that, we agree.
John Wick. If you've seen John Wick, you know that there's almost nothing funny about it. In fact, it's probably one of the most violent movies in recent memory, and for good reason. So while a lot of the rage on screen is very real, a smaller, stinkier element was added in post. The audience doesn't get a lot of time to bond with Wick's adorable puppy friend, but Daisy makes an impression regardless, and even got her own CGI specialist. Those charming little turds are 100% fake. A classic case of Hollywood tampering, even the poop is perfect.
I will give them something they've never seen before.
Gladiator. Sadly, Hollywood has lost many great performers over the last 20 years. And when an actor passes away during filming, not only does it take an emotional toll on the cast, crew, and loved ones, but it also poses a tricky logistical hurdle, especially if they hadn't finished filming their scenes. When Oliver Reed passed in 1999, Gladiator hadn't wrapped shooting, and the crew scrambled to find a solution for the rest of his scenes. Using earlier footage, they were able to map Reed's face from earlier scenes onto another body and brilliantly synthesize the rest of his performance. Trivia time! Before the Academy changed the category's name, the Oscar for visual effects was called Best Effects, Best Engineering Effects, Best Visual Imagery, or Best Engineering Imagery. Stay tuned for the answer.
I'm 6'5", 220, and there's two of me.
The Social Network. Before The Social Network, nobody had heard the name Armie Hammer. So when he showed up in duplicate, everyone just assumed the casting director came across some super hot twins. And considering how clean the CGI is, we can't blame you for that. But it turns out Earth is not that lucky, and there's only one Armie Hammer playing two characters. Depending on who you are, the Winklevoss twins are either the inventors of Facebook or butthurt frat bros. But we can all agree on one thing: they're dang handsome.
As much as I hate to admit it, he's on to something there.
Furious 7. After Paul Walker's untimely death in November 2013, the Furious 7 crew found themselves in a similar predicament as the team from Gladiator. A half-finished performance, devastated community, and unforgivable Hollywood deadlines all put pressure on the team behind the scenes. And it was the actors' brothers who came to the rescue. Production used them as stand-ins for their late sibling, and the computer wizards on staff mapped Paul's face onto them, completing the performance. With all the chases, explosions, and general eye candy contained in the Fast and Furious franchise, there's a lot to distract audiences. So if you fell for it, you're not alone.
I have a slight problem with the whole celestial dictator premise.
Theory of everything. Stephen Hawking is one of the most brilliant minds to ever grace this planet, and it's about time the man got his own dang movie. Eddie Redmayne bravely signed on to portray the genius in 2014's The Theory of Everything. Chronicling his life, the film inevitably shows the intense impact ALS has on Hawking's body. And while Romaine's performance is detail-oriented and accurate, there are some symptoms that can't be faked without a little help. In one shot focusing on his twitching muscles, the filmmakers layered two different takes on top of each other to get the effect. The first was still a close-up, and in the next, the actor flexed and wiggled his fingers to mimic the erratic twitches. It's time for another trivia question. True or false? The first movie to be recognized by the Academy for its achievement in visual effects was King Kong. Stick around for the answer.
How's your face?
Ant-Man. If you saw Ant-Man and found yourself thinking about how great Michael Douglas is looking these days, congratulations!
As long as I am alive, nobody will ever get that formula.
You're a sucker. It's not a raw food diet, Botox, or anything else Gwyneth Paltrow might be shilling on Instagram. No, it's old-fashioned post-production manipulation. CGI softening and blurring were used to get that big screen baby face glow. People in the biz call it beauty work. Obviously, the filmmakers got into a whole lot of computer-generated shenanigans to bring the story of Ant-Man to life, but we thought they might have just used some trick lighting and makeup to bring the actor back 30 years.
You must be my FNGs.
Forrest Gump. He may be in a wheelchair, but we know Lieutenant Dan could kick our sorry ass in a fight. The Vietnam vet and commanding officer has seen carnage we can't even fathom. And even though he's a hard-drinking, chain-smoking son of a gun, deep down, we know he's a good guy. One of Forrest Gump's BFFs, Dan, is a double amputee. Considering the film was released in 1994 and before the CGI boom, you might assume Gary Sinise is in a clever costume. Or maybe even sitting atop an optical illusion. But you'd be wrong. CGI strikes again.
I'm a very, very quick learner. You will be seeing me again.
Nightcrawler, the man bun. Not since the mullet has there been a hairstyle so controversial. But usually all it takes is one brave celeb to bring a questionable style into the mainstream. So when Jake Gyllenhaal rocked a little pony atop his noggin in 2014's Nightcrawler, people lost their minds. Advocates were stoked about having a celebrity endorser, and dissenters had to pretend they didn't like the actor anymore. But deep down, no one can deny their love for the Gyllenhaals. And when we found out that the hair don't was occasionally CGI'd onto his head, we realized that he was the victim in this scenario, not us.
I had the whole front extended in order to fit the chopper up there.
The Wolf of Wall Street. To be fair, there's a lot going on in The Wolf of Wall Street. Sex, drugs, money, and all-around debauchery fill its entire 180 minutes. And in true Scorsese fashion, it's chock full of Hollywood's biggest and brightest stars. So if you missed a few things here and there, we really can't blame you. Obviously, a lot of movies are shot on sound stages and cleaned up in post. But when we learned that almost every single backdrop in Wolf of Wall Street is computer-generated, we were blown away. It's so expertly blended that even if you pulled your eyes off of Margot Robbie, you still wouldn't notice. Time for your third and final trivia question, and it's a fill in the blank. CGI stands for Computer Generated blank. Sit tight. The answer is coming up.
And then there's me.
If I Stay. Actors go through all sorts of training and preparation for whatever upcoming role they've signed on to do. And when it came to learning cello for her role in If I Stay, Chloe Grace Moretz gave it the old college try. The actress spent countless hours working on her musical skills, but she never got good enough to convincingly fake it for the camera. Luckily for her, there was a CGI wizard ready to step in and fix things. Production used a body double for the cello scenes and digitally laid the actress's face over the top. So instead of complimenting her musical ability, give a high five to the FX guy instead. Well, that's our list for 10 CGI movie moments that completely fooled you. Were you fooled by any of the moments on our list? Be honest. Go ahead and let us know in our comments section below. We love hearing from you. And the answer to our trivia questions are B, Best Engineering Effects. False. The first film to win for visual effects was 1928's Wings. And I stands for imagery. Remember to subscribe to our channel and join the notification squad. You definitely won't regret it. Thanks for watching.